You know what to build. Now what it costs. Every pricing model trades flexibility for a lower rate. First, how AWS charges, then the purchase options, then the cost people forget. AWS pricing is pay as you go. You pay for what you use. There is no hardware to buy up front. Turn something off and it stops costing you, and using more usually earns a lower unit rate. Almost every bill comes down to three things: compute, the time your servers run; storage, the data you keep; and transfer, the data you move out. Three drivers, and the third catches people out. Here is the central trait of this whole episode. On-demand means you pay the full rate and owe nothing else. Start a server this morning, kill it tonight, pay for the hours you used. Perfect when the workload is new, short, or unpredictable. The alternative is to commit. You promise AWS 1 year or 3 years of steady usage, and in exchange you get a meaningfully lower rate for the same thing. The catch is the promise. If your needs shrink, you still owe the commitment. So the question is never which is cheaper on paper. It is whether you know your baseline well enough to promise it. Most real accounts end up doing both, committing to the steady floor of usage they are certain about and letting everything above that float on demand. There are two ways to commit. Reserved instances promise specific capacity and instance type in a region. Savings plans promise an amount of hourly spend instead. Savings plans are the flexible one. They follow your usage. Spot is AWS selling its spare capacity. The discount is the deepest of any option. The catch is that AWS can take it back with only a short warning. So use it for interruptible work, batch jobs, and rendering, never your checkout page. Two options exist for different reasons. Dedicated hosts and dedicated instances give you isolated physical hardware, usually for licensing or compliance rules. Capacity reservations hold capacity in one availability zone, with no long-term promise. Now the bill surprise. Moving data into AWS is generally free. AWS is happy to receive whatever you send. Moving data out to the internet is charged, and at scale that line can dominate a bill nobody predicted. It is not only the internet either. Sending data between regions costs, and even between availability zones it can. The practical lesson is architectural. Keep chatty components close together and cache content at the edge so the same bytes do not leave your region again and again. That is why the edge services from episode 16 are a cost decision as much as a speed one. Storage prices work as a trade too. Frequent access costs the most to store. Cold tiers store far cheaper, but getting cold data back takes longer and you pay to retrieve it. On the exam, match the workload. Unpredictable, short-lived work? On demand? Steady baseline for years? A savings plan. Interruptible batch job? Spot. Licensing needs isolated hardware? Dedicated hosts. Let's lock it in. Pay as you go is the baseline, no upfront purchase. On-demand buys flexibility at full rate. Commitments buy a lower rate with a promise. Spot buys the deepest discount if interruption is fine. And data leaving costs, so keep it close. Next episode, keeping that bill under control. Managing and organizing costs. Budgets, which warn you before you overspend. Cost Explorer, which shows where the money actually went. And organizations, which puts many accounts on one bill. Thanks for watching, and see you there.